Hello, 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 and welcome back to another edition of Fan Talk, your favorite podcast by your favorite fan. Hey everyone, Kyle Brenchley in the house on this Friday. Happy Friday, everyone. Best day of the week. Here we are. We got the sign, we got the Rogue One posters going. We got my neighbor edging their yard across the street, so I apologize for that. Welcome to Fan Talk. Fan Talk is a podcast by the fans, for the fans. And we talk sports here, and we're going to be talking a little bit football again. You're like, hey, Kyle, it's only April, but hey, the NFL draft has started. We'll preview the first round. NBA playoffs, Stanley Cup playoffs are going strong. We'll take a look at that and so much more here on Fan Talk. Fan Talk's a podcast that you can find anywhere you get your podcast. If you're watching on YouTube, please like, comment, and consider subscribing down below if you like what you hear and or see. And let's jump right into it. Before we get into that the reason I didn't film earlier this week was because I went to Phantom of the Opera. Phantom of the Opera is doing their North American tour, Broadway across America, and they stopped here in Salt Lake City, and it was phenomenal. So if it's going to a city near you, go check it out. And if it's not, get on a plane and go watch it, because this is the best show that you will ever watch. Certified. So good. I bought a poster. That poster's now over there. The Rogue One poster is now right here. We're slowly decorating this place now. Let's talk sports. That's the reason you are here. And we are back to football. I've talked weeks and weeks about how football is gone. We're putting a bow on that just for me to pull the rug out from under you and say, hey, we're talking NFL football again. NFL is king here in the United States of America. So it doesn't surprise me that they're always finding ways to get publicity and talk about it even when it's not the regular season. NFL draft, the first round started last night. Now the NFL draft, 7 rounds. These guys played college football and they're being drafted. Again, how the NFL draft works is the team with the worst record gets the number 1 pick. It's not like the NBA or the Major League Baseball where there's a lottery system. The NFL is strictly, if you're the worst team, you get the first overall pick. So there's actually a lot of teams that don't have first overall picks because they've traded those picks for players, for future draft picks, yada, yada, yada. But this year, the first overall pick went to the Las Vegas Raiders. They were absolutely abysmal this year. They were absolutely terrible. And with the first overall pick, they took a quarterback from Indiana, national champion, certified LinkedIn master, Fernando Mendoza. He is going to be the future of Las Vegas. That is the hope, at least for Raiders fans everywhere. Mendoza, a lot of you didn't hear about him until last year. That's because he spent 3 seasons at Cal before transferring to Indiana. So before Indiana, this great year that the fantastic run to the national championship, he was playing at Cal, and Cal has not been a solid football program for many, many years. He flew under the radar, and then he had a fantastic 2025, impressed me to the max, obviously impressed the Las Vegas Raiders and the whole NFL, and got that first overall pick. He was the Heisman Trophy winner. He's going to the Las Vegas Raiders to help a quarterback room that has been absolutely abysmal. Yes, they did have Geno Smith there for a little bit, but he is old and quite wasn't what they were looking for. Aiden McDonald's not the guy. So Fernando Mendoza, good luck to you. Probably getting thrown right into the fire. Week 1, Raiders being a division rival of the Denver Broncos. I'll be able to see him play twice against the Broncos. We'll see how it goes. Some other notable names that went in the first couple picks of the first round. David Bailey out of Texas Tech. He was the best defensive player in the entire college football. A lot of people were saying that he should have won the Heisman, but they're not going to give the Heisman to a defensive player. He's a big boy. 6'3", 250, goes to the New York Jets, 2nd overall. That's a Jets team, of course, that traded away a lot of their defensive players. Sauce Gardner's gone. So they're looking for some young guys to fill in on that defense to help out a struggling offense. So good luck to David Bailey getting shipped off to New York. Now, this next pick was very, very interesting, and I'm not going to go through every single pick. I'm just going to talk about a few of them here. But number 3, the Arizona Cardinals selected Jeremiah Love out of Notre Dame. He is a running back, and it's interesting because they already have James Conner, who, yes, did get injured last year and was out for the entirety of the year, and he's getting a little older. They also have Tyler Algier, who they brought in from the Atlanta Falcons. They have a guy named Trey Benson. They did have Imari DiMarcano. So they did have a couple running backs in that room, and they go out and draft a guy because they feel that Jeremiah Love is worth it and that he can be the future here in Arizona. Of course, Arizona moving on from Kyler Murray as well. So this is a brand new team. This is a new look. This is hopefully the end of their quote unquote rebuild. But we'll see. Jeremiah Love, another Heisman top candidate, who I personally was my pick to win the Heisman. But again, if you're a running back, it's hard to win the Heisman because it usually goes to a quarterback, at least in recent years. Jeremiah Love goes to the Arizona Cardinals. A lot of people were kind of raising an eyebrow at this pick. I think it's a good pick. It is interesting. It puts the other running backs in a tough position. But if the Cardinals want to win, then this is the guy that will help them do that. A couple Ohio State guys go in the next couple rounds. The Titans take Cardinal Tate. The Giants take Avril Reese. Kenny Styles goes to the Washington Commanders. Shout out to some local guys from the University of Utah. Serfano, as a tackle, goes to the Cleveland Browns. Good luck to you, my friend. Again, out of Utah, Caleb Lomo, another offensive tackle, goes to the New England Patriots. That is the first round. Like I mentioned before, some teams traded away their picks. Some teams didn't have a first-round pick in the first place. But that's the first round. You can go look at the entire list just on ESPN or wherever you get your sports news. Another thing to know, the Los Angeles Rams draft Ty Simpson, quarterback out of Alabama. Now, Ty Simpson, when he declared for the draft, they said, okay, maybe this guy's a late rounder, third, fourth, fifth round. I didn't think he'd be a first-round pick. I mean, he was good, but he wasn't amazing. You know what I mean? Like, he was a good, solid quarterback. The Rams did get this pick from Atlanta in a trade, and they draft Ty Simpson. This is still very much Matthew Stafford's team, is what the Los Angeles Rams are saying. But they have perhaps the future for when Matthew Stafford decides to hang it up and become a full-time family man. So that was an interesting pick, a little controversial. I probably wouldn't have done that, but what do I know? I'm just a podcaster. I'm not an NFL executive. But you can get your entire NFL draft coverage just right here on ESPN. The second round starts today. There's 7 rounds, so there's a lot of players still on the board, a lot of opportunity. Let me know, what do you think? Did your team draft well? Comment down below in the comment section, and we'll talk more about that in a minute. Let's talk about the NHL playoffs, Stanley Cup playoffs, and specifically the Utah Mammoth had made the postseason for the first time in franchise history. Heck, they've only been around 2 years, but huge thing for them. They're currently tied 1-1 against the Las Vegas Golden Knights, with Game 3 coming back to Salt Lake City tonight. This is, again, of course, on Friday. You might be listening to this after the fact. This is a huge opportunity for the Mammoth because I do think the Golden Knights are a better team. And not just by record, but if you watch the games on the ice, you can tell that they're just more aggressive. They're just faster. They're just bigger and deeper, I would say. They're a deeper team. The Mammoth have a solid core, but as for depth, there's a little bit left to be desired there. If the Mammoth can pull at least one, obviously you want to leave with a home playoff win. You want to leave with the series tied 2-2. If they can win both games at home and go 3-1, holy cow, that would be phenomenal. That would be huge, not just for their playoff chances, but for the momentum of the team moving forward. That would be awesome. Again, Game 3 tonight. I'm contemplating going to Game 4 on Monday. It would be really fun. Playoff atmosphere, first time in Utah, would be super cool. Some other things to note, the Colorado Avalanche up 3-0 on the Kings. They're looking good. This might be their year unless the Oilers or the Golden Knights can stop them. I think the Avalanche have a good shot to go to the Stanley Cup final. I'm looking over on the Eastern Conference, and I'm seeing that both Carolina and the Philadelphia Flyers are up 3-0 in their respective series. I think the Senators are sunk. I think the Penguins are sunk. The Flyers are a hot team right now. The Hurricanes are a team that should honestly end up in the Stanley Cup final, but will they choke? Who knows? Sabres-Bruins, that's a fun series with the Sabres up 2-1. And then Lightning and Canadiens. I have this odd feeling about the Tampa Bay Lightning. I don't know what it is. I think in my NHL playoff bracket pick'em, I have the Lightning and the Avalanche. Who do you guys have in the Stanley Cup final? Comment down below. Some fantastic series so far. These opening rounds are awesome. Keep watching hockey. It's going to be great. Let's talk about NBA now. Now, the fun thing is, if you have YouTube TV or any any sort of platform that allows you to watch multi-screen, you can watch 2 hockey games and 2 NBA games at the same time, and it's phenomenal. And there's just no shortage of sports to be watched. Every single night, there's at least 3, 4, 5 games going on. It is fantastic. I think the NHL Stanley Cup playoffs is a little more exciting than the NBA playoffs right now, but we do have some good series going on right now. In the Western Conference, I think the biggest thing to talk about is how the Rockets are getting punched in the mouth by the Los Angeles Lakers. Now, the Lakers don't have Luka Doncic. He's injured. He's hoping to come back, of course, and a lot of people were counting the Lakers out. They're saying LeBron's too old. This team without Luka can't beat this Rockets team that has Kevin Durant and so many other pieces around it. But the Lakers have just looked so much better in the series so far. They're up 2-0. The Rockets need to win tonight to avoid going down 3-0. Big game tonight there in Houston. I'm looking Nuggets, Timberwolves. That should be a fun series. Timberwolves up 2-1. I'm looking over on the Eastern Conference and seeing how the Hawks and the Knicks. Something about the Hawks, man. The Knicks just can't get past the Atlanta Hawks. Trae Young, let's see, was I think 4 years ago when Trae Young just destroyed the Knicks. Just absolutely cooked them every single game, beat them in 5. There's just something about the Knicks and the Hawks. Hawks up 2-1. That's a fun series to be watching. Cavaliers, Raptors, Pistons, Magic, Celtics, 76ers. They're all tied at 1 apiece. Honestly, all these series are competitive, minus the Thunder, Suns, Lakers, Rockets. Should be super fun. Comment down below which series is your favorite to watch right now. I think I'm really invested in this Knicks and Hawks series right now. All right, guys, that's all I got for you today here on Fan Talk. As we continue to watch the NBA playoffs and the NHL Stanley Cup, keep your eye on which teams you think are going to go all the way. Like I said before, I think there are some clear favorites. And keep watching that NFL draft. It's a fun time of year here in the world of sports. It should be fantastic. We are only 2 months away from the World Cup. As I mentioned in an earlier episode, I will be going down to Dallas to watch some World Cup games. So that should be super fun. A lot of great things here on the docket. So stay close for more awesome sports content here on Fan Talk. Again, Fan Talk's a podcast that you can find anywhere you get your podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. And I'll see you guys next week for another edition of Fan Talk.